Make this amazing natural orange flavored crunchy chin chin for snack time with me. I mean, look at that amazing golden brown color and then hear how crunchy it sounds. Let's start with this. We are going to use orange, we are going to use flour, we are going to use butter, and then we are going to use sugar optionally. That's if your orange is not sweet enough, or if you need to add more sugar just to get that sweet taste, you can add the sugar. So now let's see if we are going to use the sugar in mine or not. First things first, we are going to extract the zest from our orange by grating the back using a nice grater. Now you want to be careful because zest has a nice flavor that can become overpowering when it's too much. So just grate till you have enough to feel or to go with the quantity of flour you're using for this recipe. Next, I'm going to juice out my oranges because I'm not going to be using normal water to make this dough, but the water from the orange juice, because remember I want to cut down on sugar and infuse natural vitamin C using this orange juice. Squeeze out as much juice as you can. If you don't end up using it for the chin chin, I bet you can end up drinking it because either way it's healthy for you. So now we are going to form our chin chin dough. First, we're going to go in with the flour. It doesn't have to be exactly in this order, but combine all the elements. The one thing I love about chin chin is it doesn't really follow protocol. It just needs good measurement of the ingredients, but anyhow you mix it, it goes well. Next, I went in with my butter. I added a little bit of milk for milk flavor as well, and let's just say I like milk in chin chin. Then we are going to mix together, and then we are going to go in with our orange juice gradually. Remember, another factor that affects the crunchiness of chin chin is how you form your dough. You can't make this dough very soft like you're making puff pastry dough. It has to be slightly firm and slightly soft in between. So we're going to add in the juice gradually until we form our dough. I forgot to add the part where I added in the sugar because I didn't add it in the dough initially, but I sprinkled in about a tablespoon of sugar, just a little bit, to support the sweetness that the orange juice already had, because it was not very sweet as I thought it would be. Now this is the consistency I settled in for my dough, so we're going to go ahead, roll and fry. Chin chin is one of the amazing snacks that you don't need to allow to rest. Like immediately you're done, you can go in with frying. And then I didn't add any baking powder because baking powder can also soften the chin chin. So if you're opting for very crunchy chin chin, baking powder is not really necessary. And I didn't go in with eggs and all those things, though you should if you want to, but this is a very simple, budget friendly, and adding a healthy twist by adding orange juice that's infusing vitamin C into the chin chin to make it nourishing. As a kid, this used to be the favorite part of making chin chin for me, the rolling and cutting, because my tiny hands could not really mix the dough because we used to make chin chin in very, very, very large quantities. So I couldn't imagine my tiny hands needing the dough, forming it together. So I and my siblings looked forward to rolling and cutting because that was the easier part we could do, and then sneaking in a few pieces of the dough into our mouths before the whole chin chin is ready. So now you can go ahead and cut into any shape, any size, any consistency you want. I prefer using a pizza cutter for this because it's smooth, it's seamless, and is very, very, very stress free, and before you know, you're done with the cutting process. In fact, it makes it fun and a little bit playful for me, just how I want it. But if you don't have a pizza cutter, no need to worry, your regular knife can do the job perfectly well for you, and you don't need to put it on a chop board to cut and all. But I didn't want to ruin my work surface with knife or cutting lines, so I prefer to just cut it on the board. So I cut them into consistent tiny shapes that will be easy for me to munch on and easy for me to store in the container once I end up storing it after everything is done. And then next I'm going to pack this up into a bowl and then get ready to fry them. At intervals, we usually dust off flour on the chin chin dough so it doesn't stick together, and after it fries it can come out one, not together in batches of 2s or 3s, because chin chin is supposed to come out separately. Now that the rolling, the cutting and all is over, we are going to go to the final step of our chin procedure, which is the frying. And the frying takes place on the heat. So first things first, we're going to preheat our oil. We're going to make sure it's hot, not too hot to make it brown immediately without the inner part of the chin getting done, and then not less hot for it to drain enough oil and then end up being too oily. So you have to check the consistency of the temperature. That's why I started going in with 1 to see if it is safe for the other parts of the dough to go in. So while frying, I'm going to monitor closely. I'm going to avoid flipping consistently so it can fry uniformly, and then I'm going to just keep an eye so it doesn't fry more than I want it to fry. So at this point it has been frying for a little while, so I just turned it so the ones under can come on top and the ones under don't get too much heat and start getting darker before the ones on top. Now this is the consistency and the golden brown color I would love for my chin to maintain. So at this point I'm gonna take it out, which is what I did exactly, and it really didn't disappoint. It came out as crunchy as I love. Now for the flavor taste, I tried so much to get this. I see people getting it easily, but at the end I got it. Bon appetit.